All right, we made it to Pisces season, the culmination of all the 12 signs. All the energies of the 12 signs are in this this phase of the zodiac, the Pisces phase. And it's interesting because Pisces represents like jails and confinement and prisons and jails and confinement and hospitals and things like that. And that's interesting because it is the end. So we begin with Aries in medical astrology with the head, and we end with the feet in Pisces. And the feet, it represents this boundary where you can't go any further down. Now it's all going up. So Aquarius season was very intense with the urn, the man with the urn pouring the waters out. We've had a lot of rain here, very cold rain. And also this relates to information, and because it's air sign, so all this information was dumped on us as well. And information, too much information can really make for kind of insane, agitated energy. And there definitely has been a lot of energy, mental energy. And Pisces represents the two fish. And the two fish, you know, some say it's like Jesus and Mary. Jesus means fish. But it is this dynamic light-dark play with the dualistic symbols. And also the Pisces fish is like a representation. We are like the fish. We are the fish in water. The water is the air. And so Aquarius brings all this kind of watery air in the form of rain and storms and information. So the air is thick with information. And this, you know, the culmination of the zodiac is about perfecting the vessel, the body, so that when the light returns in the equinox, comes back towards the northern hemisphere, I'm speaking from the northern hemisphere, that there will be this burst of energy, and that we'll be ready for it because we have prepared the vessel. We've gone into the shadow work of the darkest time, and you know, this information, this last round of information being released into the ether. You know, we really have to purify the body, purify the mind, because the mind is porous. It is very open. So even if you're like, I'm not tuning into that, well, guess what? It's still in the ether. People are tuning into it. People are getting all kinds of information around it, and it is affecting everybody. Ooh, look at these shadows. It's so cool. So the return to the light, because we've reached the depths, we're at the feet. We can't go any further down. So it's just all about going up, you know. And I've spent the last year tuning out of a lot of astrology and tuning out of even the outer planets and just tuning into the sun and the moon and where they are. And it gives me a lot of information. And I'm going to be promoting a course I'm doing And it's going to be with small groups, only about 3 to 4 people in a group. And we're going to work with individual charts and helping to flow through the sky wheel as we move from sign, the sun moves from sign to sign, and bringing in the moon energies and these 2 frequencies, these 2 light frequencies, and how they affect each of us that are in the group. And it's going to be a development of like your own understanding of your chart, not an astrologer who has their own, biases, but just understanding each sign, so when you move into it, you know what energies you're dealing with. For me, this is kind of the hardest time of the year, I'd have to say. I mean, it is like coldest here in Mendocino right now. It's like, hailing, and just 30 miles in, 2 hours in, it's snowing. So it is very, but we needed this. We need the freezing cold snow up in the mountains. So it's all a part of the flow. But it is very challenging, I have to say. And it's also because it's this end of this cycle, this long year of just ups and downs, and trying to navigate. And Pisces, the cell salt for Pisces is Ferrum Phos. Ferrum Phos is it's like an iron phosphate. And Pisces, the actual sign, is very magnetic. And it's about understanding. And once you understand things, you can go far. So Pisces, I say to a lot of my Pisceans, you need more iron than others, than other signs, because iron attracts the oxygen, and because this is related to the blood too. So it's the blood and the feet that this sign rules. And so if there isn't enough iron, there's not enough oxygen, things aren't moving properly. So there is a whole thing with that. This tree just made a noise. And so, this is a good time to really nourish the self and, pull it all in and push off from the bottom of the depths of the waters and start swimming towards the top, because we have another beautiful season coming that is full of light, and the light is so bright in contrast to this finale of the zodiac. And I really, when you tune into it every day, then you can see, wow, everything's bursting. So right now, everything is under the surface, kind of preparing for that rising. And I'm going to be putting it out there for my course to my community, and I'll put it out on Instagram. And I'm going to organize people in these small groups according to kind of chart similarities and stuff too. So it should be really interesting. And I, following this simple path, I have learned a lot about energy. So, because a lot of the outer reality, the political reality, is also using the flow of the chart and the sky wheel. And it's an ancient form of astrology that has been used for a long time. And it's it's simple. It's really, and it really is about light and frequency, because the sun is giving us really all this, all that we need. We can't get it from vitamin D, a synthetic form of it. What the sun does to our bodies is so powerful. And I think, some people, are still coming out of a demonization of the sun, because it was a big campaign to get us away from the sun, especially at the peak hours. And there's a way to map the sun and map the moon and understand why the moon is here and there, what's going on as it moves through this 12 sign zodiac. And this isn't even about constellations, because sometimes we're in a season and the constellation isn't there yet. And so this is a system of the 12 signs. And the system is, once you understand the system, then you understand how to move through this reality. And, Pisces is also the end of a whirl. A whirl is a cycle. So the world comes from cycle. And there's a lot of doomsaying, and I can't tell you a time when there wasn't. At least in my 56 years, I've been experiencing that, the threat of doom forever, for my entire life. Then you read in old books, oh, hey, they were talking about that long ago, over and over and over. So, and it triggers something in us that is very old, like ancient. We understand that there is, dramatic shifts in this this earth plane we live on. So it triggers a lot of that. And so we're like constantly being triggered by all this old stuff. And this is why, in the work I do, I clear disturbances from the body using tools of alchemy. I mean, if you could even understand that a shape can change the way your nerves are, a shape could change your circulation. If you've had a lot of surgeries or traumas, you can change that with alchemy. And it's pretty powerful. I mean, I've helped a lot of people who've had multiple surgeries and had like cadaver parts put in their knees and things like that, and just don't fully feel themselves because they've taken on energies. And when you go under for surgery, you are open to energies. And we live in a sea of energy. It is water. There is all kinds of entities, trickster energy, lineage stuff. There's so much going on, and there isn't like, oh, this ends here and this begins here. We're all open. The brain is like so open to all that's going on around us. And so we really have to remember that if you don't feel 100% in your body and you feel almost like there's some other energy, well, there may be some other energy. It doesn't have to be like the movies. It is actually just, a thing. And it's really important to tune in to what energies you're running, And part of what I do in my work is I teach people about the energies of their chart and what kind of energies they're running and how it connects to the body. Oh my gosh, I think another rainstorm's coming. All right. Well, happy Pisces season. Pisces also, one of the most powerful shapes in this reality is the Vesica Pisces. The half circle is a very clearing shape, and it's one of the original shapes, besides the egg and the circle and the infinity shape. These are very powerful shapes that can clear energy. So I think that is part of the connection with Pisces too, because Pisces wants to help and heal everybody. Pisces wants to make these big systems for all, so we can all thrive.